Hello everybody, it's Gary Hallican here, and today we're looking at probably the coolest thing to come from the Wakanda Forever movie, and that is the Marvel Legends Ironheart figure. That movie was kind of dull, unfortunately. This armor design is probably the coolest thing in the movie, even though it only appears for a few minutes. But all that aside, what I'm really concerned with is the fact that this looked like it would be a fun figure when it was first announced. Looks like it comes with a lot of accessories and should be cool, and that's what we really care about. And of course now it is on deep clearance, so I was able to get it for you cheap, so I can show it to you here. And we have it in the plastic-free packaging, right? So we have no idea if the figure will actually look like this. Presumably it will look like the picture. Hopefully it will. Also, though, looking at the picture, we noticed that someone working on the Black Panther movies is definitely an anime fan. Because, of course, in the first movie, Killmonger's suit looks a lot like Vegeta's armor. And this design here for Ironheart looks a lot like the Nightsaber armors from Bubblegum Crisis. So you can go look that up. You'll see what I mean, especially in the legs here. It's very similar. So someone working on those movies definitely is an anime fan. But anyway, not much else on the box. Let's go ahead and open her up and see what we get. Also notable, there's no hang tag on this box. So, has to just sit on a shelf. Can't be hung up. Let's see what this is. It's not an instruction sheet. It doesn't look like. Very interesting. I've only opened, I think, one or two other of these plastic-free packaging figures, so didn't really know what to expect. So it looks like here we've got, I think these are the shoulder boosters. And the little effect parts here to go in the shoulder boosters. And this hose, I think this attaches from the arm cannon into her back. We have the helmeted head, so presumably it's the unhelmeted head that comes on the figure. We have these two smoke effects. So these, I think, go around the thrusters, go on her feet, or I think can go on the hands as well and give you kind of a smoke effects. We got a couple alternate hands. So these look to be the repulsor hands. They have holes in the center, so we can plug in the repulsor blast effects there. Those look pretty good, though. I don't know if they're supposed to be red on that finger. There isn't any red on this finger, but the thumbs are red on both of them. And we have the helmeted head here. So, interesting design choice with this head is, focus on it here. So the helmet has these ridges to accommodate her hairstyle, right? Accommodate her braids, and it's an interesting design that makes this a unique head for this character, but it does beg the question of why make the helmet so tight that you have to have ridges to accommodate the hair. Just make the helmet a little bit looser, and then that wouldn't be necessary. But I guess it does make it stand out from other Iron Man type armors there, and that's pretty decent looking there. Let's see what else we get. Looks like this is the arm cannon. I think it looks kind of like a rail gun. So that's pretty neat. It's kind of a not a little bit soft at the end there. So I think you probably take off a hand and then fit that over the arm. And I think this hose plugs into it as well, I think, right there. And then should plug into the back. All right, let's see what else we've got here. This is kind of neat. There's things tucked into all these little compartments here. Okay, so these are the repulsor blast effects. And I think these will fit either into the hands or into the feet. So you can use them like thrusters or use them like attacks. These are clear blue. Pretty neat. So I think these will fit into the hands. There we go. So we can do repulsor blast with the hands there. And I think the smoke effects fit around these. There we go, sort of like that. So when we're using these as thrusters, put the smoke effects around them. So that's cool. We got a lot of good effect parts. I think, are we ready for the figure herself? How do we get her out of there? Yep, there we go. Okay, so you've seen all the accessories. So we're ready to look at the figure herself. Here we go, and there she is. The knees are very stiff. All right, so there she is out of the package and stands very nicely, so that's good. And aesthetically, pretty good. It's definitely plasticky red and not metallic-y red. You know, it should be kind of metallic for the armor. Looks like the shoulders aren't quite as glossy. The shoulders and the stomach part here aren't quite as glossy as the rest of it, but there is a lot of good details, a lot of silver parts on here. These pieces on the arms look pretty good, and they can rotate, it looks like. So aesthetically pretty good. Of course she looks tall, right? But that's because her feet would be, you know, right around here or so. And then there's extra extensions designed into the legs. Otherwise, though, aesthetically pretty good. We get up close to the head sculpt. So I think the actress's name is Dominique Thorne, I think is her name. And based on pictures I've seen, this is a fairly decent approximation of her, it looks like. You can see the hairstyle here, right? So that corresponds to the ridges on the helmet, right? The helmet made to accommodate that. But pretty good head sculpt, it looks like. Looks enough like her that you can tell who she's supposed to be. So for articulation, head doesn't look up very far. Looks down pretty good. Twist, of course. Not much tilt side to side, a little bit. Can twist. At the shoulders, we can go not really up very far because of these shoulder pieces. So we're only going to get them up about that far, it looks like. Twist all the way around. Bicep swivel. Double elbow, really good elbow. These pieces can turn here, I think. The pieces that are on the arms, because they will come off so we can put on the arm cannons and so forth. The hands, looks like, let me see if I can take a hand off. It might be a little bit tricky. There we go. And then we can take this piece off and slot the hand back on. And so hands, turn, and swivel a little bit there. So we got joint here at the chest, no crunch forward, no crunch forward at all. Just a little bit of lean back. Pretty decent side to side, can twist. Nothing at the waist. So basically that's the only twisting we get right there at the chest. At the hips, we've got forward that far. And of course they kind of go out to the side some when you hit it forward. Back, not really very much at all. We do have some swivel here at the thigh. And the knees felt very stiff, so, and they are. Knees are very stiff, but they're good. So even for the bulkier design of the leg, we've got a really good double knee here. But they are very stiff. For the feet, of course, we're not going to get any ankle rocking or anything because of the design of the feet. But it looks like they can go forward that far and can go back that far. So that's pretty good. At the feet, of course, no other rotation there. So articulation is a little bit limited, but it's not bad. I'd say, you could chalk it up to it being the design of the armor that limits articulation a little bit. Well, let's put the armored head on her here. So that wasn't too bad. Heads came off pretty easy. There we go. So with the armored head on, that's how she looks. And to me, I'd say the helmet looks about the right size, actually. So it looks like it would fit over her head there. We get much better upward looking with the helmeted head and much better downward looking. Not really any more side to side tilt. Of course, can turn. All right, let's armor her up here. So on the back, we plug in the shoulder thrusters here. Just like that. And just like that. So we got the shoulder thrusters plugged in. So I don't think that's not going to hinder the head any. It's going to hinder, arms can't go all the way around now, but they probably wouldn't anyway. And we've got the effect parts for the thrusters. So those look pretty good. And then we've got some options for other accessories here, right? So we can put on the repulsor blast effects, or we can put on the arm cannon. Let's put on the arm cannon here on the left arm. I think we'll have to take the hand off. And this should plug in. I think this plugs into one of the thrusters here. There we go. So that's pretty cool. We got the arm cannon on there, and we get the hose that plugs into one of the thrusters. And let's get her a repulsor blast here. So there are holes on the feet, so the repulsor blasts can fit into the feet if you had a flight stand, right? But let's get the right hand here. See, I didn't quite get. So the hands are a little tricky to get on when you have the wrist pieces on there. There we go. I dropped that one. There it is. All right, so there we've got her doing a repulsor blast with that hand and firing the arm cannon with this hand. So overall, pretty good. The spread of accessories is pretty nice on this. You got different options for the hands and where you want to put the blast effects and so forth. So next we'll do some size comparisons. Okay, so for size comparisons, here she is with Marvel Legends Cersei. So she is, of course, quite a bit taller, and that's because of the design of the armor. Like I said, her real feet would be about here or so. So she's going to be taller than your other Marvel Legends figures. Here she is with Star Wars Black Series Reva. So again, a little bit taller there because of the armor design. Excuse me. Here she is with McFarlane Toys Harley Quinn. So of course she's in a different scale, right? All the Marvel Legends in the 6-inch scale and McFarlane Toys in the 7-inch scale. Here is a standard 12-ounce beverage can. All right, so you can see the comparison there. And as always, of course, here is John Cena. So she's about the same height as John Cena, pretty close to it. All right, so that is the Marvel Legends Ironheart figure. I would say this is quite a good figure, especially for the new clearance price that you can find it at. Even if you didn't like the movie at all, or you didn't like the character at all, this is a very nice, just, robot, armored type character with a lot of accessories and options. So will fit in with, any kind of anime figures you've got or anything like that. So I think it's definitely worth it, even if you didn't like the movie or this character. This is a pretty fun figure. All right, let me know in the comments if you've got this one, or if you've got any other cool ones, or if there's anything else you'd like to see. And we'll see you in the next review.